Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
Like this.
Record.
Record.
What's
I
up?
can't even
What's
say record
up?
right.
It's another episode of Sight Beyond Sight. This is our Inner Search of Horror edition. We are a little late, obviously, as you see, but that's because the Conjuring 3 just came out. We all seen it, and we're all gonna tell you what we think of it, but we'll let Marissa explain it like she always does. And just because I fucked up last week, we're here with Andrew, the co-host of Sight Beyond Sight, Marissa, and Thomas.
Shut up.
So go ahead,
Okay.
Marissa, and do what
Okay,
you do.
so this is the third installment of The Conjuring. So we're following the same couple of rounds. Their new, I guess, assignment, mission, whatever.
Yeah, it's a new case. It's a new case.
Exorcism, maybe.
Yeah. So they're with a family who the little boy who's about 8 years old is possessed by a demon, and when they are faced with actually doing the exorcism, the priest comes, and one thing I do appreciate, and I don't know if you guys caught this, but when the priest came, they did the exorcist homage. Like, he got out of the taxi, they did the whole shot with him standing with that flat brimmed hat staring at the house for a couple seconds. I appreciated
that's
that.
just
Yeah,
not a
I'd
priest
never
outfit.
seen the exorcism.
Like that
No,
ass
no,
is
it
like
was
a
just the
19
scene,
whatever priest outfit.
Because in the exorcism, the original
He
exorcism,
comes out from the cab.
but
yeah.
it was just the way that it was
Yeah.
shot. He was off center, it was foggy out, it was nighttime, and it was just
Everything
lined up.
I called
That's
it right
why.
away.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So
they set y'all up.
Yeah.
So they start to do the exorcism on the boy. Before they start to do the exorcism, the kid is trying to get some rest, and his sister's boyfriend is tucking him in essentially and basically telling him how brave he is, and that it's okay to be scared as long as you get through it, and that he's going to make sure the boy doesn't get hurt. So everyone's downstairs welcoming the priest. The boy is awakened by a noise, and he goes running into the bathroom, and the demons or the ghost, whatever you want to call it, is kind of like chasing him. So he hides in the bathtub, a nice old school clawfoot bathtub with the curtain that surrounds it, and he's in there hiding, and he looks up and he sees, and this is one thing that I love about the Conjuring movies, is they do subtle things that make you look really hard at something. So he's looking up, and all these little hooks that keep the shower curtain on are up there, but then you look and you're like, what is that? And you see something start to move, and you realize it's the fingers.
Yeah, the finger, because like they're the same color as like the hooks, because they're all like black and.
That was very
Yeah.
noticeable.
Yeah, that's actually.
Noticeable, but it makes you focus on something. And then they do the creaky thing, which the director loves little creaky sounds. And then the thing puts the water on. The water is blood, and the kid becomes fully possessed. They hear the kids screaming. They go running upstairs, and just like in every Conjuring movie, which I've noticed, they break open the door.
Yeah.
Every
All right,
Conjuring
all right,
movie, like his shoulder must pop out constantly because he's constantly opening up doors.
That would be great if he opens up the door and saves the day, and then he does a lethal weapon shit where
That would be
align it.
So when they open the door, they see the boy crouched in the corner. The dad goes in to try to see what's going on, and the boy comes running out and stabs his dad in the leg.
Can I pause for a second?
Sure.
And then when I was thinking, since it's part of the Conjuring universe, that it was going to do an Annabelle thing where in the original Annabelle movie, you saw like the doll in the side, and then you're like, what? And then it just grows until the demon holding it.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen with the kid, where you just saw the shadow grow larger and larger.
No, but what
Nah.
you did see is when they grab him to bring him downstairs to start the exorcism, he's kind of reaching like trying to hold on to something as they're trying to pull him.
Yeah, and then it had like the weird like scratch marks.
Yes, but that was really the demon scratching
Yeah.
and not the actual boy. He was not really touching anything. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of
You know when
interesting.
the little kid stabbed the leg, Nick jumped. I just want to point
No,
that
I
out.
didn't. But I thought that was awesome. I was like, right in the kneecap. And if you move to the side, Marissa and Thomas, no,
No,
well, it's hard to see.
no.
I mean, we covered
It's-
the whole screen.
Well, don't worry, it's gonna be the thumbnail.
It's-
But the thumbnail's in the background,
Oh,
and you see
it's-
the kid walking
Oh yeah, it's the
toward
little
it.
Yeah.
That's what
boy.
we're getting to now.
So they start to do the exorcism, and as they're doing the exorcism, Mrs. Warren, she's holding the boy, and she starts to see visions, and it's pieces, like all you see is like a chalice and like lights being lit and
like an
things
altar.
on an altar and stuff. So you see like flashes of stuff, but you could tell she's kind of confused or whatever. And all of a sudden, everything from the kitchen basically gets thrown into the dining room, knocks the priest out.
I love that part. Where it just hits him like
Yeah.
it's straight.
A piece of plate hits him, and nobody cares about him the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like,
No,
oh,
they go
shit.
to, but at the same time, when that happens, the boy jumps on Mr. Warren and basically, like in the demon voice, basically says, I can stop your heart, and basically like clutches his heart from the outside, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of very, very Indiana Jonesy, I guess.
Nah, that was actually one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah. I
what
thought
did
that
he
was-
say in Indiana Jones to get the
Oh,
heart?
he said some voodoo shit.
I think it was like
That shit is wild. I love that movie.
Ah,
Kalima.
there you go, Thomas. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's
So,
not fair. He's young. His memory's great.
so in order to stop this from happening, the sister's boyfriend basically invites the thing to go into him. He grabs the boy and says, look at my eyes and take me. And so it leaves the little boy and goes into the boyfriend. But because Mr. Warren is basically just had a heart attack, he can't speak, he can't warn anybody. So everybody just thinks that the demon has left. He goes to gets rushed to the hospital with they said he had a massive heart attack. He has to get stents put into his heart, yada, yada, yada. And then in the meantime, everybody kind of goes back to life as usual, which is kind of strange
Which
to
was
me.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so you're just gonna go to bed, you're gonna
Everything was fine. That did not care. This nigga was in a coma.
yeah.
It
It was just everybody just kind of went on their life, and you see that the boyfriend and the girlfriend, they live together. She takes care of these dogs in this weird kennel.
apartment. It was like there's a kennel downstairs, and they lived above.
Yeah, and
In
their
the apartment.
landlord lived with them too, and he was the guy was like a
Alcoholic.
drunk
Weird,
and
drunk.
like just weirdo.
He was
Yeah.
He was way too hyper.
he was
annoying.
Yeah,
a dog lover type person.
Why a meth head? He didn't seem like a meth head.
I'm figuring. there was
I
a
mean,
South
I could see
somewhere.
it. I could see it.
And he was very
See, even
sweaty
Thomas
a
could
lot.
see it. That's sweaty.
He was
a lot.
very, very
Very sweaty.
I could see
So-
him being a method.
yes. So that goes on for a little bit, and you kind of like, okay, things are kind of normal, and they're going back to the parents' house for, I guess they're having a barbecue to celebrate that their kid's not possessed anymore. I don't
I
know,
guess so.
but in that time,
Dope.
they tell they tell the boyfriend, oh, go inside and get the thing of meat or whatever. So he goes inside, and I find this kind of funny. It's something very ghetto, but it would look ominous. I'm like, he's like getting it, and there's like boxes of
Cereal.
cereal on the counter, and one in the middle starts to move. And knowing what he knows went on in that house,
He should be running. Like seriously.
he should either be running
Or
or
screaming.
screaming or calling someone, whatever. But the box falls to the floor. There's like there's like
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles
Like,
or whatever
like
the hell.
at the end of the
it
day, like, if you've seen all of that in your house, a box of cereal moving shouldn't scare you. Like maybe you might just have a mouse. You live in the fucking field, the
No.
country.
Yeah,
I
and then
would-
and like there's like a mouse creature running around too. So
Exactly.
You know.
Like it's not like
I-
necessarily you gotta be scared of every now little thing that moves.
I would have screamed like Jonah Hill and accepted. And it goes,
Yes, yeah, I could say that.
especially after seeing all of that, I would have
Yeah.
thought like those fucking after me.
Is it
Yes.
Like I told them to come
He
into
would've
me.
Yes.
screamed like Jonah Hill throughout the whole time, but like, nigga, do a smart movie thing. Like, do something that they would do smart in the movie.
So
Yo.
yeah, so but this is
You keep moving
what
out of frame. Just come in.
I'm in frame. Leave me
We're not-
alone. You can't move me. I'm fucking 240 pounds.
okay, so anyway, so he goes to investigate, he puts on the plate, he goes to investigate, and yes, in fact, it's the mouse that comes out of the thing. Most people would have been like, oh, okay, and then like went outside and been like, yo, you got mice, you gotta call the exterminator or something. He goes and follows the mouse. Who the fuck does that?
Nah, that I wouldn't.
Into a big ass hole in the wall that
And he
looks
stared in it.
suspicious.
Way too long, and the whole it didn't look like a mouse bit into it. It looked like
It was
looked
rotting.
yeah,
It looked
rotting.
like it just looked like something evil touched it. Like something evil, like a long finger just stuck it into the wall and then it just made a hole.
yeah. But the one thing that I like was, and this happened a couple of times in the movie, which I found was interesting, that maybe it had more of a meaning than what I'm thinking about. But so he's looking in the hole. You expect something to stick him in the eye or like something to come bite his face, and it
Yeah.
doesn't, which I liked because that would have been way too predictable. But then he turns around to walk away, and the demon, whatever you want to call it, just grabs his face. And now, for some reason, the grabbing of the face with the long fingers and everything,
What's weird?
Squishy, squishy.
I don't know. Like there's one thing to just do the jump scare and it's like in your face screaming at you, but it wrapping its hands around your head like your head is nothing. It was a little eerie, you know what I
Nah.
mean? Like it was just like I'm gonna reach into your soul through my
If
fingers.
that would
you know
happen
what I
to me,
mean?
I'm dead at like my whole body's going limp. I'm like, you won. Like, what am I supposed to do? You got my head. Like,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And then he collapses to the
That's
ground.
his weakness. His head.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't do
But
nothing.
it was just something that like, oh what, like it could have done anything to him, and it almost felt like it was like trying to enter him in a way.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Well,
So
kind of did.
it was
in a
always
sense.
kind of in him though.
Yeah.
It's
But I
sort
mean-
of it's kind of weird how they did it
Yeah.
because I'm just gotta skip like a huge portion away. Just
Wait, we'll get to it. Just wait till you.
I want to get to this part.
Yeah. Okay. So after this all happens, they go back to the they show the hospital again, and the husband wakes up from his surgery or whatnot, and the first thing he says is call them because something's wrong, and the wife is like, no, the thing left, they're fine, everything's fine. They're like, no, it went into the kid, I forgot his name, Alex, and
it's I think it was
something with an
like
A, I don't remember.
The
The
his name.
older kid. When you
older
watch the
kid?
movie, it's the older kid.
Yeah, the older
Yeah, I
kid.
honestly
older
got no
kid.
idea.
Yeah,
That kid looked crazy though in real life.
the
Yeah.
guy who looks like a serial killer.
Oh,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they showed the end.
He definitely looked like he was chilling with John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, the real pictures.
That's what I love about the Conjuring movie, since it's based on a true story,
Yeah.
and they showed the real pictures. I was like,
Homeboy, dead
no.
ass could have painted
The
his
devil
face
didn't
with
do
the
it.
suit that he had on,
Yes.
and you
He
would have been
did
like,
it.
"Yeah, clown killer." Like,
Yeah.
it looked crazy.
So she calls and or no, so the husband's trying to warn them like we need to go find him, like he's in trouble, whatever. And after he gets grabbed by the face, he goes to work like the next day. I'm assuming it's the next day. And he apparently is like a tree cutter. So he's up in a tree trying to like start a chainsaw,
Tree cutter.
which
It's a great.
the way he was doing it looked so fucking dangerous to me.
Yeah, I know.
That's
He was
awesome.
on
That's
a
how they
board.
do it.
What-
Like honestly, that's how. But he wasn't cutting the base of the tree. He's cutting the branch.
Right,
like the
he's
thing on
got
this
like
side.
that
No.
buckle around
It's-
him.
Yeah,
But
because
he's
it
like-
looks so dangerous because he was on a branch, which
No, he was on the main part of the tree. He was on the tree trunk, but he had a belt around him holding him there. But the
No.
way he was like pulling the chain and it wasn't starting because he was trying to get leverage. I was like, that motherfucker's gonna fall.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of
Then he
Spanish people do that.
sees,
Yeah.
then he sees the ghost, and then he got distracted and almost kills someone.
No, he didn't get distracted. He saw the ghost. The ghost started the chainsaw up in his hand while he wasn't paying attention, and then he dropped it and he almost took off
one of the guy's legs.
one of the guy's legs. And so he went home, and when he arrives at the house, he's pale as hell, sweating, and the girlfriend's like, "What's wrong, honey?" Like,
That's a great girlfriend, by the way. She cared.
she
was
did
loyal.
care. She did care, but
Stuck by him, even
But
though she saw
she-
him stab the guy. Like,
I'm getting to that. Shut your face.
Shut up.
So
Spoilers.
this is the crackhead that they live with. Instead of like, oh man, you look like shit, you should go lay down. He's just like, oh, you're here, fix my radio, have a beer with me, do this, do that. And it's like he's getting pulled in all these directions, and you can tell like the thing is talking to him while he's trying to A, fix a stereo, and B, trying to get away from this drunk asshole
Yeah.
who's just like handing him beers, throwing him around the room. And it gets a little chaotic.
They do show real quick, if you catch it, they show like a quick second that they show that it's him not seeing the right shit. Like the girlfriend and the meth head,
Yeah.
they're dancing like regular, and then they goes back and he's seeing
Like
them
they're
acting a
like,
different way.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
So,
more intimate.
Yeah, that
And-
was
Right.
a tease
And
towards it,
since
yeah.
you're on the scene, that in that kennel,
Yeah.
they had another reference to exorcism. They had the poster of the exorcism vase that came up
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah. So at this point, he's miserable. All the dogs are going nuts,
Yeah.
and the guy is blasting the music, and it's just become very chaotic. And then all of a sudden, he starts seeing
Like red. It's like if the sun turned red and everything went dark.
yes, and then he started to see the demons, and he started freaking out, and he has this folding knife, and he starts to run away, and he's running away with his girlfriend, so he's trying to get like her out of the situation and himself too. But what he doesn't realize is the person that he's seeing as the demon is
Is the
really
drunk-
the
The drunk landlord.
the drunk landlord.
Yeah.
So when they're trying to escape, he attacks him and stabs him.
Like 22 times.
Specifically.
Which like it's like when they're at the house, you can like still hear him like screaming and like squishing noises, which I thought was a good touch. Because
Yeah.
you could tell how like much he stabbed him. And,
because
Yeah.
it became
Because
squishy.
he
Yeah.
definitely hit 22 times. So I was like, how the hell this nigga got 22 times? He broke it down great. I'm like, fuck, all right, that makes sense. Like,
So
Tell by the squishy noise.
yeah.
so the wife, Mrs. Warren, when she couldn't reach them on their phone, she had called the police to go over there. So the cop was on their way, and they see the guy walking down the street. And at first I had the thought, I said, holy shit, did he kill the girlfriend too?
That's what I thought.
That was my initial thought. I'm like, Jesus, I
would've
can't.
made the
That
movie
would
more
really
interesting.
suck if he killed the girlfriend and
He should have.
the landlord.
Like, not saying it to be mean.
You were dancing with the devil.
But like I'm saying, like it would have made it more interesting. Like
Yeah.
if he would have actually killed the girlfriend too, like more like, oh, he killed multiple people
Right.
instead of just one random dude that was possibly crawling at him.
Right.
Yeah.
So when he's walking down the street, he's still possessed. You see his eyes are all
yeah,
fucked up.
which
He's all
was
veiny.
I've seen that one trailer a few times, and when in the trailer, his eyes were normal the entire time.
Oh, but they do that sometimes. Like when they cut the trailer, they don't. It's like a pre-edit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like they changed a bunch of other stuff too. I only saw like the few first seconds because I didn't know it was like a Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
And
So anyway, so the cops stops and sees that he's full of blood. His eyes go back to normal, and he basically says, "I think I did something bad.
I think I hurt someone.
I think I hurt someone." You're so specific. I like it.
I
So they
Welcome to
arrest
being out
him.
here. You're a
Um,
man now.
Yeah. So they arrest him, and the Warrens finally get in touch with the girlfriend. The girlfriend tells them what happens. They go to the police. They go to the jail to go see him to see if he's still currently possessed. But they had him say a prayer, and Mrs. Warren like touched him to see if she could feel anything, and he didn't seem to be possessed at all. So now they're confused because usually possessions don't just stop. So they're trying to figure out, what's going on. So they go back to the house. They try to retrace the steps. What did they miss from the whole beginning, from the little boy and everything? And they show you, like, I guess the daughter or the sister is basically explaining to them when they first noticed that the little boy was having issues, and they describe when they first moved to the house, and he goes to put a box in this room, and there's a waterbed, which when a little kid sees a waterbed, it's the funnest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
Well, what I didn't agree, he went on the waterbed with his sneakers still on.
Yeah.
It's trampoline rules. You need to take your shoes off.
But anyway, so he's jumping on the bed. I kept in the back of my head going, are they gonna Freddy Krueger this?
Yeah.
Okay, that was in the trailer, because it was another trailer. It was the waterbed scene, and when he was laying down, a face on his right
Yeah, so
appeared.
that does happen.
So, but in the thing, it
It didn't do that.
it did do that.
Nah, it did.
did.
They showed it. Yeah,
They
they
showed
No.
the face. Yes, it did.
Yeah, they did.
did they?
Yeah.
You
It was
missed
real quick though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
very
missed it,
quick.
Thomas. Oh, your memory went down.
Shut up.
Damn it.
It's not Freddy Krueger. One, because Freddy Krueger, for me, growing up in that era, that's a major scene. If you know that scene,
Yeah.
you know what's there. So it's like, hey, look at that. That definitely did not happen in this movie.
No.
No, I think it was like it just punched through the waterbed and started like dragging him in.
Yeah. So but what wound up happening was the boy's trying to get off the bed very clumsily, but trying to like back his way out of the bed, and then he sees a hand, and then he's kind of not playing with the hand, but he's kind of like, what the hell? And he's just trying to figure it out, and then the hand rips through the waterbed. It grabs him, and he starts screaming, and there's water everywhere. And then everybody comes running in. There's literally puddles of water, and he's sitting there soaking wet, just traumatized. So so they got rid of the waterbed, and they're back to current times, and they're looking around. They're like, okay, but this is weird. I don't see anything that stands out. And they're like, well, where was the waterbed? They're like, oh, it was right here. We put that carpet because the water ruined the floor.
And then they said that's not a water stain.
Yeah,
And then the
because
immediate
it was literally like just rotted wood,
but
black, almost looked like it was burnt, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but the immediate joke I thought was it was him saying that's not water damage, that's ghost damage.
I did not realize he said that, but that is
no, he did not say that. He
Oh.
said he wished he said that.
No, I
would've
did,
been
I
great.
did,
That,
I
that would
did.
have been effing great. Honestly.
I did say that. You just weren't paying attention.
Would have been a great fucking line.
So then they open up the crawl space, and of course they open up the crawl space from the outside, and it's full of cobwebs. So initially my first reaction was the skin that crawled up my back because of I thought was, damn, there's a lot of spiders in there.
I hate spiders.
So because the husband just had a heart attack and he could barely even stand up straight, the wife goes down there, and I just appreciated the line where she was just like, he was worried and nervous and said, oh, you're gonna ruin your dress, and she just went, hold my purse. I
he said
That
appreciated
was
Yeah,
that.
he
the
said
women's
that.
movement shit. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So then she goes and crawls around this crawl space. They had a little scare with the fucking rat or whatever. And then this is one thing I didn't understand. There was just a random plastic that was
Yeah.
hanging. So
Alright.
of course the bad thing is behind the
Of
plastic.
course, yeah,
And I
yeah.
just kept thinking, okay, are they going to use the plastic to try to suffocate her? Are they going to try to do something weird like that?
Yeah, they did
Then
nothing.
they didn't do anything. It was just a weird place that they hid the little totem pole,
Yes.
or the little like
It's
cultist.
not a totem pole.
I used the wrong word. I'm sorry.
Okay, so she goes and like all the rats are kind of gathered in this one area. And there's like a bag. And my initial thing was I thought it was gonna be like somebody's head, like
Oh,
maybe
yeah, like
somebody
some-
got buried there.
Nikki, you said it's that you thought it was somebody's skull.
Yeah, I was like, it was a
Yeah,
skeleton.
and I thought it was something too. I thought it was a little bit too small, like it to be in like an adult
Adult
skull,
skull, yeah.
or something.
So when they lift the thing, it's like a skull with like a horns or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
some
like a is it
weird.
like a
It's-
mini cow skull or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then so she immediately knows that this thing is evil. She takes out a camera, takes pictures of it.
And it's like a weird camera too. It was like
Yeah,
an
that
old
shit was
school
cool because like she had to like push it. It was like snap, and she pushed it in and pushed it back out. It was like snap. I was like,
that's actually
I
pretty
don't
cool.
remember that in
Yes.
the 80s like that.
I'm old enough to remember
So,
that.
bah,
Yeah. Yeah. So they show these pictures to the priest and they ask him, you know, like, is this anything that you've seen before? And they made a bunch of copies and they're like, just send them out to all the police departments in the area, see if they've ever seen anything like this before. And the priest said, hey, you should go talk to this other ex-priest who
Like
has
he sort of went undercover a little bit and like sort of studied cults and stuff.
he didn't go undercover. He was an exorcist himself, but something happened and basically he left the priesthood, but he had extensive knowledge of
Like
the occult and stuff. So they go to visit him and immediately he's a weirdo.
Oh yeah, of course. Like
Mm.
even how his face looked, I could not trust.
Well,
him.
that's the actor. The actor. But they picked a good person, I thought, to be this dude. So they go and they show him the picture, and immediately he's like, you should not mess with this. Like, just forget about it. Just leave it alone. And they're like, well, we can't. We got to save this family, yada yada. So he brings them into his house, and he has a room like they have, sort of, where it's just
sort of like
it's
filled with like junk.
all bad shit. It's like bad juju, and she doesn't want to go down there. She immediately feels the bad juju, but they need this information. So he's got piles of books all over the place. He has like occult memorabilia all over the place, and he seems kind of off-putting himself. So he gives them a bunch of books to research, and they're trying to find as much information as possible. Then they get a response from a sheriff stating that that same totem was found at a girl's house who had killed her best friend and is now missing. So they go and visit the cop who's working the case, and basically they're like, well, we need your help. And he's like, I need your help, blah, blah, blah. But he's not really believing that she's a psychic. So he comes out with these 3 knives and says, one of these knives was used in the murder. You tell me which one. And at first the husband's like, that's not how it works. You can't just use my wife. Like, so he's trying to like fight it. And the wife is like, psh, it's that one. And what's so funny is,
It's like all the police guys immediately just looked at her.
yeah.
That's so
And did you guys notice in the background, like 2 cops like swap money, like it looks like they had a bet, and they were just like, okay. So she tells him, take me to where you found the body, and I'll try to help you find this girl. So they go. And this is one part that Angelo thought they overdid it a bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Because like
Let's see. Wait. What part? What part? I want to know more.
the
When
part
they
when
go
going
into
to
the
the
woods.
woods.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, you missed that. You missed that turn."
I don't think that was overdoing it. I think that part was actually decent. It was probably more overdoing it when
Yeah,
she
it
saw
was
the
the stabbing. It was
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
stabbing.
like that. Like she should sense like where that like the whole killing shit. I
Yeah.
get that.
But you
Well,
don't
when
like
she
her
turned-
mimicking.
Yeah, when she turned into the person, it was like, all right, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they did that a lot in this movie, as to where in the other movies they really didn't. Like all her visions were mostly like her talking through the vision, not actually her being interacting into the vision, right? In
Yeah,
all the
more
other
or less.
movies.
Because that's what she did in the other movie. She would go there and see what happened and be able to explain
Yeah.
or whatever, or talk to the spirit
This
while I
was
was
more like
there. Yeah.
mystical, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
But it also showed what exactly happened, and where the girl ran to. So basically what happened was 2 girls were playing in the woods, and the one girl gave a gift to the other girl, and then stabbed her. But she was possessed when she stabbed her, and she also stabbed her 22 times. So then once she
Keep it even numbers.
yes.
Yeah, can't
So
keep it even.
once she killed her, the spirit, the demon, whatever, left her, and she realized what she did, and she got scared and she ran. And when she ran, it was at nighttime. She ran and she fell off the cliff.
Yeah, and that's how they found her. And
Right, that's how the movie ended.
Yeah, no, imagine that's the
So
end.
that's how they found the girl. The cop is totally impressed at this point and is kind of dumbfounded. And he even said they dredged that part of the water twice already and didn't find anything, but this third time they found the body. So the Warrens go back to their house. They're still trying to figure out a connection. They don't know why this girl and the 8-year-old boy are connected, that somebody would actually physically put these totems or around them to possess them. And then what happens is, let me see. She says that when she touched the boy during the exorcism, she kind of had a vision of something going on, that she might have
like a
seen
ritual.
who was doing the ritual.
Yeah, like
So she's like, well, maybe the body of the girl is still that open connection. So they break into the funeral home to go try to touch the body to see if the connection's still open. So they find the body, and and one thing I thought was kind of funny is like her hand was still kind of slimy, like they just took her out of the ocean.
Yeah.
It was kind of gross, but at the same time, it was just like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that it was still kind of slimy. So she takes their hand, and at first she doesn't see anything, but then it takes a little bit of time, and she starts to have visions of a tunnel and some stairs and like
some muffled train tracks.
Yes. And then
when the husband is seeing her.
That was the funny part.
Oh wait, hold on. So she goes and she sees like the altar, and she's describing to her husband what she's seeing, and she's like, I can see it's a woman, and she's trying to do he's doing it again, like
Yeah.
basically it's saying that she's trying to possess the boy again, the one that got arrested. What I forgot to mention was, put a pause on that. So this boy is in jail, and
The older boy.
the older boy's in
that
jail. So they
killed
think that like
the
the
guy.
spirit had left him and he's fine, but he's mopping up it looks like the infirmary of the jail. And
that sort of like greets him, and like sort of, I don't know if it took possession of like one of the people who were like
Inmates.
sick or like inmates sick. I don't
Yeah.
really know. And then that's sort of like I think it distracts him or something. I think it like uses like a bucket or
yeah. So he's mopping, and like he accidentally hits over the bucket. He goes to crawl underneath the bed where the bucket is, and the bucket gets pulled. So he's freaked out. And I think he knows immediately that it's this thing.
Yeah, because it happened once before. He knows it's gonna happen again.
Yeah. So, and then the guy who's in the bed who was sleeping pops up, and he starts singing this song, which is weird. It had no relevance to anything. He just starts singing this weird song.
I don't even remember the song.
Oh, it's sort of like that song
It's like
in
a
the
70s song.
Snyder cut, when like the people on the
We don't speak on a Snyder cut here.
So and then when the guy stops singing, he turns around and she's there again, and she does the face grabby thing again and freaks him out, and he just starts freaking out, and the cops come in and they kind of wrap him up and they put him in solitary.
Basically.
So that's what's happening. And they told the priest, to make sure you keep an eye on him and make sure he's on suicide watch. So the priest gives him a tincture of holy water and basically tells him like to use this to protect himself against the thing. And Angelo called it immediately. He's like, they just gave him glass.
yeah.
Like that's dumb.
Well, it's like Yeah, at least use plastic. I mean,
I don't think
Yeah.
they really did back in the 70s.
But back
They
then,
didn't
they
really.
That was
really
the
didn't do
80s,
that.
yeah.
But it was
Oh,
just the
80s.
way that he used it was even more stupid than
Yeah.
them giving them glass, to be
Right.
honest.
So back to the Warrens and their whole experience in this morgue. So she's connected with this woman, and somehow she's now not the woman, but she's looking at the woman, and the woman looks back at her and it's like, how are you doing this? And she doesn't answer her, but she's like looking around and she realizes, oh, this is a two-way street. She can now see what's going on here, but she's like stuck almost. It's like they have this weird like staring contest thing happening, but she then I guess starts to control their environment and
Oh,
shuts
yeah.
off the lights, and her husband goes, oh, that's weird, and then just goes to turn the light back on, and there was a body on a slab, and all you see is like the sheet kind of slide down the slab, so you're like, okay, she possessed like this dead body somehow.
which I like to comment looked like the fat monster from scary stories to tell in the dark.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because like the long hair and the pale skin.
Yeah, and the fatness.
Yes, and the fat.
He just reminded me of like a fat Samoan wrestler
Yeah.
that was naked coming after him.
Well, I'm glad they didn't have the the swinging cock thing.
Yeah.
I was happy about that. So then and this is another part that Angela really didn't care for because it kind of made it a little bit too supernatural, where he goes, this now possessed dead person charges at the husband,
Yeah.
and then hears the wife and then charges at the wife, and the husband goes to tackle
the big Samoan guy.
Samoan guy, and the connection is ended, and it just goes bam and hit. I don't know
that was
why
awesome.
this made me laugh so hard in the
It
movie
did.
theater, but he goes down, his head hits the gurney and then
Yeah.
plop on the floor, and I have no idea why, but I just found it very funny, and I just
You know-
started to laugh.
The reason why I found it funny because I'm thinking like, okay, this is based on a true story, so there's like a lot of exaggerations to make it a
Yeah,
movie.
like I'm sure this
But
actually did not happen.
Can you imagine, like, say this happened in real life, but it's all fake?
Yeah.
So it had to be like Ed Warren just picking up the body and then like hear something and drop it, like fuck. And then the guy that has to come in, like, what the hell are you doing with all these bodies?
Did you really look at the original picture of Ed Warren? Like that
Yeah.
guy kind of would look like that type of breakdown. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it'll be
to-
believable. Yeah,
Yeah.
like when you watch like the actor version, you
Mhm.
get that image in your head
Yeah.
until you see the real shit, and then it's like, yeah, nah, I can believe that. Like, what the fuck is this?
Exactly.
What are you doing, Ed? It's the third time. Stop carrying these bodies and trying to make a point. It's not a-
But so she now sees what the person looks like. Okay. So they go back to the house, and when they go back to the jail, like the scene goes back to the jail, and they crush the thing, makes him crush the holy. Oh, he puts the holy water in a
Oh,
circle and
okay.
he sits in it and trying to
Yes.
pray.
And then that's what he was saying, but I said it when we were here too.
Yeah.
Dumbest thing. You have a body of holy water, a bottle of holy water. I was just like,
I would have dumped it on my head.
drink it,
Or
dump it
drink
on
it.
your head, put a cross on your forehead, like some people
Anything.
do. You put a circle like it's salt.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's gonna evaporate now.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Like you just
So, and
wasted-
obviously it didn't work, and he wound up like cutting himself. So now he's in the infirmary, and they have him like locked up essentially.
And like the witch or whatever you want to call her, or the cultist, she's sort of like controlling him because she has the knife, and
Oh
like
yeah.
it's sort of like a voodoo thing,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah, trying to make a cut with the glass.
Yes.
because she had like the knife and she was sort of imitating that.
Yes.
But then the wife stops her.
Yes.
which was sort of weird. It's sort of like she had like psychic powers or
And
something.
really
Yeah.
almost turned into like a superpowery kind of like we're
Kind
both
of.
witches of
Yeah.
superpowers, but
Yeah, it
Oh.
kind of got weird like that.
I think that's when my cousin Damien, he was on here before. He said that she sort of had like a spider sense. You watching Conjuring movie? That might have not been her.
Yeah.
But I
Shout
think-
out to Damien.
Shout out to Damien.
Well, kind of, because that's what a psychic does. They have feelings about things, which is
Yeah.
basically
We
like
sense
spider.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this one's a little bit more unrealistic because
Yeah.
she can sort of like stop her. It's more
Tryna-
like
Don't say she was a real person, Thomas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
She
can't say
died
that.
like a year or two ago.
Like I see
Mhm.
shit, nigga.
So then they go back and they're researching the book and they're trying to figure out how do we stop this. Now that they know what it is, they know that it's this witch who's made these totems and they need to stop this curse,
It's
right?
not a totem. Just like you told him, I had to just say it to you.
you said it before too. It's like
You said it was a
He said totem, and you're like,
No,
it's
what's
not
the
a
second-
totem.
no. What was the second word you said? A totem
Pole.
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 Oh,
Yeah, it's
because you
not a
put a-
totem pole.
Just because you put a
I
pole,
know, I
on-
know what the
technically
difference
is a pole.
changes everything.
A pole is a pole, no matter what
I
it
tried
is.
to have your back, but
You
she
put a
was-
pole in the
A
club,
pole
you
is
put
a
a
pole.
pole over here, the pole's a pole. I don't care where the pole is at.
So there's of course part of the book that they cannot translate. So they decide to bring it back to
the weird.
oh, but
expert-
before that happens, I'm sorry, before that happens, the husband stands up real quick and it's like almost like he gets excited about something. He stands up and then all of a sudden passes out. And the wife or somebody must have put him back in his room. He wakes up, he starts to walk out and he's calling for his wife and he doesn't see his wife. He starts to walk down the stairs. He sees that the door, it looks like the door was like busted open. So now he's like, oh my God, what's going on? And he sees the big fat naked guy again.
Yeah.
Round two.
Samoan comes back.
And
Rematch.
he starts to not attack him, but basically like he has the his wife's rosaries and he's like saying the prayers and the big fat guy is like, you know, Michael Jacksoning it and getting blown away by the wind. And and then he turns around and he sees the witch and the witch is looking at the book and basically saying, hey, you guys, and basically saying that you're close, but there's no way you're going to defeat me type of thing.
Yeah.
And he goes to attack her with a knife. But in reality, none
it
of
was
this is
his
going
wife?
on. It was his wife that he was attacking. His wife's crying and screaming, and thank God for his assistant grabbing the knife.
Asian guy assistant. Okay.
It doesn't matter what race he
I
is.
don't
Don't be
know. This is
racist.
funny.
So racist.
He is racist.
So
And
anyway,
so
so
Ed almost killed Lorraine.
yes,
he
Ed
got-
almost killed Lorraine
That
by
would have been
stabbing her in the
sad.
face 22 times.
You know what? He would have got away with it in real life if that would have happened.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, a demon possessed me.
So then they're trying to figure out like how would they have possessed her husband? Like at what point? So then they start looking around his office.
And then they find one of the
They find one of the
shrines or whatever.
Totems.
Totem.
Just not a totem pole. It's just a totem.
What's
So-
the difference of a totem and totem? There's a pole. There's a
The
totem.
pole is a big
The
thing.
pole is to make it bigger.
Yeah.
That's why it's called totem pole. Is to make it actually longer. Thomas, you're right. Don't let them break your English.
So anyway, so yeah, so they find it, and that's when they decide they need to take this book, they need to get it translated by the old dude, and the husband and the Asian dude are supposed to go.
Oh, you said Asian dude?
I didn't realize he was Asian until they said it.
Liar.
You're blind.
So they realize that that it's a bad idea for her to be there. I forgot what it was that made him realize that. Oh, so they're looking at the map trying to figure out like the connection. Like the boy is here, The girl was in like Boston. Like,
the
where's the
girls
connection?
the
And
girls
then-
that killed each other kind of thing, like the one girl that killed her and then dumped
Yeah.
herself in the ocean. He was like, yo, they were so separated. What's the connection?
And
then
then they
if-
realized that she went to college in their
in
town.
Yeah, in that state.
And
so.
that, yeah. So then that was the connection. So
So that kind of makes it like a Bermuda Triangle.
it makes like a triangle between the little boy, their house, and the college. So it makes like a little triangle thing. So then they're like, okay, well, she has to be in this area. Where could it be based on the clues that she saw in her vision? So they realized that the only place it could be was this where the old man lives.
The creepy old man.
The creepy old man. So he tells the assistant to call the cops. He gets in his car and takes off.
And then he forgets his pills.
Of course, because he's,
Uh,
forgetful.
Yeah. It's
You're about to say, man. I know.
So in the meantime, she's talking to the old man. He locks her in the house, which I find to be very, very creepy.
Very.
And he basically explains to her,
like, this witch is my daughter,
yes.
and
And the
where-
only way to break the curse is to destroy the altar. The altar is underneath this underneath
the
this
house.
house.
No.
No. Yeah.
Batman.
Because it's in a cave.
Yeah.
Under the
Well,
house.
it's also a bookshelf. The bookshelf.
It wasn't a bookshelf. It was just a wall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was a bookshelf, right?
Okay.
No, it was a wall.
It was a shelf,
Yeah,
and it was basically against the wall, and
yeah,
it moved.
it was a shelf.
Doesn't
a
matter
wall
if it had
shelf.
books. It
Okay.
doesn't matter what it's on there.
Okay.
Why are you so angry?
So angry.
Because we're discussing a bookshelf in the basement. Like, honestly, it's just a
I
fucking
want to
shelf.
know how he got a cave, an actual cave in his house.
I think he's found it or something.
Yeah.
He had a
Batman.
crawl space to go under his house. How do you figure he wouldn't have a fucking like a basement?
Well,
in his
he
basement?
explained the caves. The caves have been there for a long time because of when they made the
Cultists or whatever?
no, when they made the mill. It was a mill.
Oh.
So while they're talking, you could hear that the daughter is coming into the house. So he shows Mrs. Warren where the caves start, gives her the flashlight, and basically says go. So when he does that, the daughter shows up in the basement, and he takes out a gun from the drawer and basically says, "I've been a horrible priest and a even worse father." Blah blah blah. And I don't know if he's going to go shoot her or shoot himself, but regardless, she has this super
Power.
and I guess like she kind of like evaporated and then
She
winds
went
up
into the
behind him.
Yeah, she went
And
into the
then
shadows.
slit his throat, but very nicely, gently placed his head on the table.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
just
She
kind of
did.
like
daughter, father,
I
daughter,
mean-
father, love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why
She
you gotta
loved
be
her.
bothered by that? That was
I know, it's just
sentimental.
weird.
That was great.
she was a very creepy looking witch, I do have to say,
Yeah.
like just naturally. So then she goes into the cave to try to catch Mrs. Warren. Mrs. Warren finds the altar, and it's like this huge stone table with this stone pillar and like books all over the place, and she's trying to like push it over. Of course, she's not going to push over this
Yeah,
fucking stone
And
thing.
what I find weird about like every like single cult thing, like in video games or movies, they always have deer antlers because remember they had the deer antler with like
Yeah.
the cup or the gauntlet, whatever you want to call it.
I felt like those are more goat. Goat represents like the
No.
devil.
No, there were
Goats,
there
Like
were
deer.
goats
deer
are more
antlers
like
on the.
Yeah.
He's talking about on the chalice.
yeah, the
Okay.
chalice because
And yeah, and then the weird horn things on the actual totem were not very rammy. It looks more like deers. I guess because deers are easy to.
hunt.
I guess so.
No,
And they're innocent.
it's
I don't know.
goats, and it's because goats represent evil, devilish. That's all it is.
But
It's
their
never
horns
been a
are
fucking
different.
deer, It's
Yeah.
a goat, basically type shit.
So-
Y'all overthink the hell out of shit.
so she can't push it over. The husband, she starts screaming for the husband. He finds another entrance, like it's like a grate.
No,
Like
like
in the
in the
ground.
sewers.
No, it was a grate in the ground. Like it was like a mound, and there was a grate there. He takes a sledgehammer, breaks the lock, goes down.
And
Tries-
Sora just gets possessed.
No, not right away.
I know.
Like the
'cause he-
wife is running, and the witch had like cast some sort of confusion spell on her because she kind of got lost.
Who, the witch?
The witch cast a confusion kind of a spell on Mrs. Warren because remember she was crawling and she saw herself crawling in front of herself.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave her like this weird like she was like lost or something.
This is like a D&D game.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So then the husband comes in, he has the sledgehammer, and he thinks he sees his wife, and he goes running towards her, but it's really the witch, and then the witch does some voodoo shit and like blows some smoke into his eyeballs.
Voodoo smoke.
Voodoo smoke. So then he starts to think that the wife is evil, and he is swinging that sledgehammer like a motherfucker, hitting every damn pillar in that place. I'm like, there's gonna be a fucking cave-in. Something's gonna fall.
Mhm.
And then, and in the meantime, while all this is happening,
Like the things with the boyfriend happen.
yeah, the boyfriend is being possessed again, and he's like tied onto the bed, and he starts, doing that creaky, weird body twisty thing that the child did in the beginning, and basically does that where he dislocates his thumb and takes his hands off the handcuffs, and he's now floating with a shard of glass in his hand, about to like cut his own throat.
And then his girlfriend stops and like he's trying to pull his arm with like no effect.
The best girlfriend in the world. though.
Yeah, so like basically hanging on his arm, trying to prevent him from cutting his own throat. And so at the same time that's happening, Mrs. Warren is basically like pleading to her husband, like, please just remember it's me, and like basically trying to use the power of love to heal all kind of thing.
I wish I could play.
Remember
the
the
power of love
kazoo.
song. You got the power of love.
Do you even know that song? I believe it was on Back to the Future.
Yes, it
I'm pretty
is.
sure.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
So he all of a sudden gets out of it and realizes like he almost sledgehammered his wife, but instead he then sledgehammers the table, which
Okay.
breaks the curse, and it makes this cool like little of wind, which I guess represents the curse breaking.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
So
and the boyfriend collapses to the floor, and he's perfectly fine. And there's all these like COs and the nurse is basically like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they
Eh.
just saw like a whole possession thing going on, and just like, oh,
so I just want to mention that through this whole thing that she started doing a ritual that she had to like kill three people to like hunger this demon or whatever.
Yeah.
It already killed 3 people because it killed the 2 girls and
No, it had to kill 3 types of people. A child. It had to kill a lover and a holy man. And it had to be one murder. It had to be a murder, a suicide,
and
something else. I don't remember now.
yeah, I don't remember. But I mean, why does it have to be so specific? Why
Because
is why
demons are very specific. It's a spell.
why is that demon so picky?
I don't know. I don't know.
take the goddamn soul I'm giving you. What the hell's wrong with you?
So once the spell is broken, the witch tries to attack again, but because she fucked up the spell, the demon still needs a soul, so the demon takes her soul. And what I thought was kind of funny, instead of just like taking the soul or whatever,
yeah,
She has to like contort, and it's sort of like
but
that's-
it like breaks her neck in a way
it's
that it looks like, I feel like it could be explained as like a fall. Does that make sense?
no.
Because I just felt like the way that her body was slumped down, it looks like she fell down some stairs.
No, her legs were like backwards up like this. Her body was here. Her neck was here. Like she looked all twisted up.
Yeah, it was pretty. But the demon also looked like her.
Yeah,
Which I
that's
found
what
that-
was just weird.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think that I was gonna like mention that before.
Yeah.
I got a little bit confused, and I thought that the witch was the demon. It's sort of like a Mephisto
Oh
thing.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. How it first played out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it just turns out she was just working for the demon.
I thought they were gonna do the nun thing, like again, because I was
Mm.
like, oh, another thing. But I think that was a good thing for me, seeing that it was like an actual person. It wasn't
Yeah.
just like a spirit
Yeah.
that was doing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So overall, like, so it ends all happy. Of course, everybody goes back to their thing, and then the kid, the boyfriend, he does. He does go to jail. He does get convicted for manslaughter. He only serves 5 years, which is fucking amazing to
yeah,
me.
Yes, yes.
Marries the
Stabbing the guy
girlfriend,
22 times.
lives happily ever.
Well, he was possessed by a demon.
Yeah, but
Supposedly.
5 years, Jesus, for killing somebody. So anyway, so that was the movie. Overall, I found it entertaining. I don't think it was scary, but I really don't think that the Conjuring movies were scary. Like, they had some creepy moments. There were some great visuals, I thought.
Mm.
I love the two actors. They play a really good married couple.
Yeah.
Like, very good chemistry. The acting was great. The kid didn't annoy me. I
Which,
like usually
amazing.
Yeah, usually the little kids, like, their acting usually annoys the shit out of me, but he was just pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall the movie I thought was okay.
Yeah. I do like the tape that was at the end.
Oh yeah, you did get to hear the original sound.
Exorcism
Yeah, the
from the beginning of
original
the movie.
actual tape of the actual exorcism, so that was interesting. And always seeing like what the original people look like is pretty cool.
What do you think, Thomas, of the
I'm-
movie in a whole?
I mean, I'm not really a fan of the Conjuring movies, but yeah, I guess it was all right. Yeah, I didn't like how they sort of changed the. I guess it's sort of necessary to change the trailers and stuff, so nothing too much gets spoiled, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess like with the guy, like the trailer when he was all covered in blood, you could infer that he did murder someone. So, I mean, you could have just made his eyes white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. It was okay, I guess, and not really a fan, but still, it's a.
So what
good
would you
movie.
rate it 1 out of 10?
Well, we'll do that
okay.
next.
What do you
Andrew,
think, Andrew?
Andrew.
How would you ask me and then rate it after? What do you rate?
because I'm gonna give your opinion on the movie.
And
then
then
we're all
everybody's
I'm gonna give
rate it.
my
Might
opinion
as
on the
well
movie.
rate it while you do the review. That
So
makes
then
sense.
we'll start
That
with
makes
you.
more
And we'll
sense.
go down the line.
Like, it makes more
So
sense. Like,
your opinion and
you're
then
gonna
rate
double
it.
back to re-ask me the same question.
Yes. Yes.
So basically, nah, it wasn't bad. Was it as good as the other two? No, it was decent enough. Give it like an 8 if decent. Like, it's not. It was just shitty, but it wasn't built up the way the other two were built up.
I
It was a
gotcha.
completely different type of movie,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I enjoyed it. Like I said, the creep factor was not all the way there. I did like some of the visuals that they did. I was not totally thrilled with this whole powers thing. It was kind of weird. I wish
Yeah.
they would have made it a little bit more realistic. But I enjoyed it, and I'd probably watch it again. So yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I would give it an 8.
I give it like a 6 out of 10.
Wow.
Maybe like a 6. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my opinions on it. I do agree. It's not better. It's the worst out of the 3.
Mm.
That's because James Wan didn't direct it.
You think it
Um,
would have been more creepy if he did?
Yeah, I think he had a better sense of it.
Mhm.
Because even thinking about Conjuring 2, after watching Conjuring 1 recently, I think Conjuring 2 is a little bit better in certain senses.
Okay.
But I feel like, yeah, there was probably 2 visuals that were really good. The change up, I do like it's an actual person versus an actual demonic spirit.
Right.
But if you know anything about the actual case, the guy thought he was a werewolf and he was actually eating people. So I thought that that's where we're gonna go. That's what the scratches on the mark, the scratches on the walls and all that.
Yeah, and you made a joke how the boy was possessed by the demon of like a werewolf or something.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be more of a different take in that sense, where maybe he transforms into like a werewolf demon.
Oh, maybe that's what they were doing with the whole
with
the
scratching
body
and all. Yeah,
and the
Well,
body morphing kind of thing.
I didn't really take it as that because every possession exorcism movie they always contort themselves like
True.
that. I didn't think it was bad. I think it was better than all the other fucking movies that we've seen. But
Yeah.
I'm sure.
but as for I think it could have been better, but again, it wasn't directed by the same guy, so I don't give it that much clout. It's the same thing as all the other like Annabelles.
Yeah.
They're the same shit. Like James Wan didn't direct them, so I felt like they fell off.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Nun was a great, and that was another thing that I'll say from the second movie.
Mhm.
That scene with the fucking nun was amazing to me visually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
With
they
the
make the nun
picture.
movie,
Yeah.
and it's just like, what the hell did you just do?
Yeah.
But I'll give it probably a 7, only because I'm thinking about all the stuff we rated,
Yeah.
and I was like, it's not bad. I agree with you. I'll probably watch it again,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and refer to people like, watch it.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of The Conjuring, yeah, watch it because it's in line with the movies. But
Yeah. And it's
it wasn't-
entertaining. Like I said, it's entertaining enough.
yeah, it's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
at all. But there you go. That's our thoughts on the movie. That was the movie. It's not bad. It's decent, and it's better. It's the best movie in my opinion out
That
of all the
we've
movies
covered
we've
so
seen.
far.
Yeah. So, but we could have done a whole like 3-movie review to, because I would say like even now I'm gonna rewatch the second one again, but I think it's 2, 1, 3, in my opinion, with The Conjuring.
Mm.
What do you think?
Do I like 2 better than I liked 1? I don't think so. I kind of like. I think I kind of like 1 better than 2.
Okay.
I do like the nun aspect of it, but
Crooked Man?
something about number 1 to me. I just like the storyline a little bit better. Maybe that's
I would
what
agree
it
with
is.
that. Andrew,
So I would say 1, 2, 3.
out of all 3, like how would you rate them? Like best from worst?
I could really care less about this one. I mean, I guess I don't know because I always get 1 and 2 mixed up.
1 is the farm and 2 is England.
2 is with Crooked Man, the Old Man, and the Nun.
I think that's the best one. Like the 2 had more scary shit in it.
Yeah, so it's 2, 1, and 3 for you. Thomas?
Gotcha.
I don't watch them.
Yeah, you did.
I only remember 3 because I just watched it.
Remember, we watched it over the weekend when your cousins were here.
But I didn't pay attention.
Oh,
I was
okay.
That's
playing
what they
video
do.
games.
So anyway, there you go. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. We had this very special guest over here that remembered random shit but doesn't remember the other 2 movies. And, we're going to come back and we still got to talk about Spiral.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got to
You didn't
watch
even
it.
watch it.
I want to watch Spiral. It looks okay.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by the trailer. But we'll get into it. See you next time.
Bye,
Next week.
losers.
Peace.